Welcome to Lee Keeps Going. In this episode, I want to tell you about the camper trailer that I use. I'll tell you why I chose this particular type of trailer, what features it has, and I'll also give you information about how I've adapted it for my particular uses. I have a 2021 TigerMoth by Taxa Outdoors. I purchased it in November of 2021, and at the time I knew I would be traveling primarily solo. I'll show you images from some of my trips while I talk about the reasons why I chose this trailer. Since I bought the trailer, I have used it quite a bit. I have put about 10,000 miles of towing with this trailer, and I've slept in it over 60 nights. So it has fit what I needed perfectly. The items that I looked for as I was making my selection for a trailer centered on really three particular items. Number one, it had to fit into my garage. I did not want to have to store it at a remote site. It just kind of would take away from the whole purchase reason that I had, which was to have something that was convenient and very easy to use. And having it at my home where I could quickly pack it and leave for trips was a top priority for me. And I did not have a place outdoors at my residence where I could store it. So fitting in the garage was number one. And that, of course, immediately limited me to relatively small trailers and something in the sort of teardrop, square drop category. Prior to making this purchase, I actually rented a teardrop and tried it out on a several day trip. And during that trip, I realized that there were a couple of other things that I really needed in whatever trailer I chose. One of those items was pretty easy to get in lots of different trailers was air conditioning. But the one that was not so easy to get in this category size of trailers was being able to set normally inside the trailer. When I looked at the TigerMoth, I found that it had a bench seating inside that allowed you to set up normally. If you're basically anyone 6 foot or under can set normally on at least part of that bench seat, and it comes with a table that you can set up inside. That particular feature, the being able to fit it in the garage and the air conditioning, all of those tied together in a package that there weren't very many other options that could do that. That really led me down the road of making this particular purchase.
On my very first trip, I did a kind of a test weekend where I just took it out for one night to see how everything's set up. And I did this at a local lake. I pulled it with the 2018 Jeep Renegade for the first yearish before I upgraded to a different vehicle. It pulled fine with the Renegade. The trailer has a dry weight of about 1,500 pounds, and the Renegade has a towing capacity of around 2,000. The trailer, as you can see, has a gull wing door that opens up on the side, as well as a back door that you can open to go more like a regular door on the back. This allows you to open the trailer, get a lot of ventilation, enjoy the outdoors while being out of a light rain or something like that, which I've done on several occasions. Inside, there's a lot of storage up front underneath the bench. There's two sides that pull up and they can actually be hooked up on the top to stay open. So you have quite a bit of storage underneath here that is pretty easy access as well. Up at the front, you have the power center, and with that, you have several USB charging ports. There is also a 12-volt charging port. And then over on the left, you can see there are AC outlets. Those work only whenever you're plugged into shore power. And there's an air conditioner as well at the front. Of course, that's only going to work if you're plugged in somewhere. Great view from the bench seat inside, and as well easy access through the back door to the area where the kitchen is going to be located as a pullout. So I primarily use the kitchen area for storage of plates, dishes, pots and pans, those sorts of items. There is also a small propane stove that comes with the trailer. Whenever you open that top panel has some brackets on the bottom, so it'll actually rest on the back and make a platform where you can put your stove or other items. The next compartment is covered with a cutting board and has more open storage. The first storage compartment has dividers. This one is just more of an open compartment. At the front of the trailer, there's storage in a storage box. I use this primarily for things like wheel chocks and other items like extra tarp, things like that. Comes with a full-size spare that's mounted up near the front of the trailer as well. And then you have this large storage area right behind the storage box, as well as another storage area on the front of the roof that will hold about 200 pounds. And then you have tule racks further up. Some people will put a rooftop tent on top of the trailer. I don't need that because I'm primarily a solo traveler. And then I also bought the soft goods package, which includes not only the awning on the back, but it also includes the screened room that will help with, buggy nights and things of that nature. The trailer plugs in to just like a regular outlet. It also has a option there for a solar panel to be plugged in, and it has an adapter to a 30 amp plug that's actually on the trailer, but you really only just need regular power. The back has stabilizers, one on each corner, and then I use some leveling blocks underneath as needed, depending on the situation at the particular campground. In a moment, I'll show you how I've adapted the trailer for my needs. But first, enjoy this time lapse of me trying to set up the awning for the first time.
One of the first modifications that I made that's actually a change from just the layout of the official trailer is the fire extinguisher was up in this corner right here next to where I now have a mirror. And it stuck out in the edge of the couch, and I like to lean against that corner in the wall, maybe to watch a movie on the table or something. So it was always hitting my head. So I just unscrewed it from that location, and what I've done instead is I just have it down here. It's actually Velcroed to the wall there, so it's easy to remove. I haven't actually tried traveling with it in this location yet, but I keep it here when I'm parked, and I just throw it up on under the mattress for travel so it's secure and doesn't slip away. The other thing, when I'm using the trailer by myself, I use this little container system of drawers that I bought at Target for all my clothes. I used to, the first few trips, I was just using duffels, and they were always like having to dig through them, and they were piled in the corner, and it was always hard to find things. So what I've done now is I've just made these little drawer systems. They're completely removable. They're not attached in any way. When I'm traveling, I have this bungee. Pull this down, hook it underneath here, and that will keep everything secure so it doesn't move while I'm traveling. Another thing really common for people to do in these is add these little cargo nets up on the top. These are little bungee nets. So I've got extra blankets, jackets, rain jacket, things like that up there. I'll roll this out and show it in a second. But that's my sleeping pad. So it's just a queen size foam pad folded in half. So when I use the trailer with a second person, I can make the whole, put the table out and make the whole thing a bed. That will cover the whole thing and add an extra inch or two of foam padding. For myself, I just fold it in half, and now I get an extra couple of inches of foam padding. During the day, I just roll that along with a comforter that's underneath there, my pillow, and just store it up in that corner. It's space I'm not going to be using generally during the day anyway, so it just makes a good storage for it, and then it's ready to roll back out when I'm ready to sleep. And I'll show you the sleeping configuration in a minute. The other things that I have in here, of course, a couple of pillows. These work both during the day and when I'm sleeping. I use them under my head. So those are multi-purpose. I'll use one in a hammock whenever I pull out my hammock and hang it in a tree. So all of those have multiple uses. Other things like another extra pillow
sleeping bag, depending on the temperature, whether or not I need a little, sleep a little bit warmer. All of that is there. Now there's quite a few things stored under, and in the videos from when I first got it, you see that there's a pretty large storage area under that front section. What I have is a couple of things that I want to be able to get to easily. So one of the first things is this little bag here that is toiletries. So everything I need basically is in this one bag. Take it to the bathroom with me or whatever. The other bag there, this little green duffel, is my dirty clothes hamper. So I put all my dirty clothes in there. I can usually stuff it underneath the storage area if I need to. Just do whatever, put it up on top if I need to, just depending on what I need. A lot of times during the evening, I have my backpacks, cameras, things like that. They'll just go up in the same area up near the front of this section, just on the floor, and then I still have all the section at the back if I need to stand, change clothes, do whatever. When I have two people, I actually bought a little folding tent for both a changing room. It can be a shower room. It can be a toilet room. I also bought a little portable toilet, just basically a toilet seat on a stand that you use plastic bags. That all of those can be used in that changing tent. So that's another option that I have. Those are all stored up under where the bedding is stored right now. So I don't need them on this particular trip because I'm at a park with restrooms. But if I did need them, they're in the trailer ready to go anytime, depending on where I'm camping. Just so you have a toolkit here that's just stored up in the front. So I can get to that usually pretty easily. Back inside there are some more containers. The nice thing about these containers is I can slide them out when I'm parked and get to things like, here's some extra bungees and propane, things like that are stored there. The other side, a little bit taller container, various different things in there as well. Just depending on what I need to store in here. They're really still easy to get to. I mean, there's some things that are back behind that are a little harder to get to. Going to be things like if I have to stop and change a tire, my tire iron is back in the front, so I'd have to take all those things out to get to it. But it's still in the trailer, just hopefully I won't ever need it. One thing that I should have mentioned as I was pointing out this whole area in the beginning is the floor. I've added they're little foam padding, they're like garage door foam, or not garage door, garage floor, or exercise room floor, or whatever. The little flexible foam, they link together with these little, edges here and across. I just cut a hole in the middle between two of them to fit where the table goes. I use another set of these for the floor of my changing tent when I'm using the changing tent or using it as a shower. So these are really versatile. They come in a pack of something like 10. I think I've typically carry, I think I've got 4 up underneath my storage now, which would overfill my changing tent. I've mostly used 2 at a time in there and then 2 here. And it just makes the floor softer, a little more padded. It also makes the floor warmer if you're in a cold environment. And they can be completely removed, washed, whatever, put right back in because they're just snapped in place. They're not tied down in any way. Now, just another piece of equipment, not really a modification or anything, but I have a little broom and a little dustpan just to keep, because as you're getting in and out all the time, you're bringing in, dirt on your feet. Just keep those in the little stairs here brushed off to try to keep the dirt down inside. It also came in really handy when I camped on a beach last summer because sand just gets everywhere, and so I was just constantly sweeping the whole trailer down to get the sand out of the trailer.
Since I filmed the previous video, I've actually made another upgrade to the way I organize the trailer for sleeping. I took the mattress that used to be underneath my storage bins and I moved it over on top of the other storage area just to make it too thick. What this allows me to do is arrange the mattress at the front on the couch portion. When I pull out all my pillows here, and now I can fold it down flat and then roll my foam over it and make this just this one side my bed. Now, what I used to do is when I only had the one thickness at the back, is I would just flip the two cushions up against the wall. Now, one of the advantages of doing this is I was never sleeping against the wall itself, so I had that kind of extra insulation. But what I essentially end up losing is several inches worth of space. And since this bench area is already, it's a little bit narrow, it just made me always feel like I was kind of falling off the edge of the bed into the, the floor space there. So by flipping it this way, that couple of extra inches just gives me a ton more space, and I always have my comforter or something against the wall. So I'm never really like sleeping up against the cold wall or anything anyway. And so it actually works really well for me. But in order to make this work without, making major modifications to the foam and the mattress and the pads, just by flipping these down, they stay together well because they're sewn together. And then all I've got to do is just roll back the foam, flatten that out, get my pillow, my comforter and everything rolls out on top, and I have my bed, and works great for sleeping in one. And of course this does, this only works when there's one person in the trailer. If I were to take someone else, I would just need to move the foam at the back, the mattress pad or the cushion at the back over to where the storage unit is. I'd have to move the storage unit anyway to have a second person, and then this whole couch thing pulls over. You just unlatch it and it'll pull across. This system works really nice for me to pull that out, make this into a bed on one side, and then I can always easily put it back up as a couch in just like seconds. Really, it just roll the foam back up, push the pillows out of the way, and push the cushions back up into the couch position. So works great for me, and it's really comfortable to sleep on. It's got a little extra height here. But I sleep, some people sleep with their head down at the front of the trailer. I sleep with my head towards the back door, which also is where the ceiling is higher. So it's a lot easier to just set up and do other things, or swing into a seated position if I want. And works great for me. Now, a couple of other things I just wanted to mention while I'm talking about things that I've done in the trailer is I wanted to show you this little temperature gauge, humidity gauge, clock. All of that is just helps me kind of keep track of what the temperature's like. And the humidity is important, do I need more ventilation, something like that when it's a little bit colder or something. A couple other things I've done here in the back corner. You can see the mirror. This was in a previous video. But I saw some great videos on little containers that you can stick to the wall. I've just stuck them up there with command strips and the Velcro on them. I put my glasses in this little case up here at the top when I'm sleeping. Got all these little holder things here. Got a couple of those, and put my cell phone can go in that, wallet, whatever I need to stick up there at night when I just need to get things out of the way. So all of these are some of the little useful tips and tricks. I will say that the containers that I have stuck on the wall, I know those came out of a video I saw on Mandy Lee Photography YouTube channel. So those were very helpful tips.
On the outside of the trailer, one of the first changes that I made is one that most TigerMoth owners make. The spigot that's on the jerry can is plastic in the original, and it's really difficult to turn. There's not a lot of space to really reach the knob, and the one that comes with it is really tight. So I replaced it with this brass nozzle, makes opening the can and getting water out much easier. On the front of the trailer, I've added just a Rubbermaid storage box that I bungee down so it's nice and secure. I keep things like firewood, charcoal in that box. And I also have some space right behind it where the rug that I use on the back of my trailer is able to fold up and slide in there and fit nice and securely whenever I'm traveling. To open the box, it's really easy. I just release the bungees and open it right up, and everything's easy to access. The lid keeps everything nice and dry, especially during travel. If it's raining or whatever, I don't have to worry about those things that are there. You'll see I also have the bicycle with me on this trip, and I'll show you in a little bit how I fit the bicycle into the trailer while I am traveling. Another thing I want to show you is the food situation. I use the back of my tow vehicle as basically my pantry. I've got a couple of dry boxes where I can keep all of my dry goods. They're nice and secure in there. And then I have an ice cove refrigerator that I keep all of my cold items in. So it's a really convenient setup, easy to get to everything. And to keep my ice cove refrigerator going, I have a Jackery inside the vehicle that powers it. The Jackery can charge. In this case here, I have the Jackery plugged in because I'm at a campsite with electricity and I just need a little extra charge. But it charges whenever I'm driving, and I also have a set of solar panels that I can use to charge it. The last thing I want to show you is how I load the trailer for travel days, starting with a quick time lapse of the camping chair that I'll bungee to the door inside the trailer. And then after that's in place, I have a little camping table that also gets bungeed right up next to that. If I'm bringing the bicycle, like I did on this particular trip, I can also store the bicycle inside the trailer. To do that, I took off the front wheel of the bicycle and I put a fork attachment on a piece of wood that I just had lying around. That secures the front of the fork of the bike. So I can take that, push the bike in, front fork first with the piece of wood to kind of keep everything steady. And that is secured to the front of the trailer with a bungee. And then at the back, I can lift the tire and it slides right into the corner at the back of the trailer, and that holds it securely while I'm traveling. All I have to do then at that point is bungee the front tire to the side there. To wrap up, I just want to continue with a few photos of some of my trips in the trailer over the last year, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I use my 2021 TigerMoth trailer to work for me and the way that I camp. And these are versatile little trailers. I think they are adaptable to many different needs. I hope my tips have been useful to you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.